Hi, my name is Michelle Steiner, and this is my educational thinker presentation on Howard Gardner and his multiple intelligence theory. To begin with, Dr. Gardner is an American cognitive psychologist. He was born in 1943 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. In 1983, he wrote this book and published it, Frames of Mind, and in this book he introduced the world to his theory of multiple intelligences. In this theory, Dr. Gardner posits that rather than just one type of intelligence that can be measured with an IQ scale, that human beings actually have 7 different types of intelligences. The first is linguistic intelligence, and people that have high levels of this intelligence are skilled at writing and speaking. Some examples would be William Shakespeare, C.S. Lewis, Maya Angelou. The second type of intelligence is musical intelligence, and this includes musicians and composers, people like Mozart, Beethoven, Dave Brubeck, Yo-Yo Ma. The third type is logical mathematical intelligence. People that have high levels of this intelligence are skilled at deductive reasoning, detecting patterns, and thinking logically. Some examples of people who have this level of intelligence are Blaise Pascal, Sir Isaac Newton, and Albert Einstein. The fourth type of intelligence is spatial intelligence. These are people who are able to graphically represent their visual and spatial ideas. Architects, master chess players score high in this area of intelligence. People like Bobby Fischer, Frank Lloyd Wright, Leonardo da Vinci. The fifth type is bodily kinesthetic intelligence. People who have high levels of this intelligence are able to create something with their bodies. Dancers, athletes, examples would include Twyla Tharp, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Michael Jordan. The sixth type is interpersonal intelligence, and these are people who are gifted at establishing rapport with strangers, with new people. They're often successful politicians or maybe talk show hosts. Some examples would be Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins, Phil McGraw, Dr. Phil. And the seventh type in this book is intrapersonal intelligence, and these are people who are able to look inward and examine their innermost feelings. Philosophers and some writers, people who are journal writers, often score high in this type of intelligence. Some examples would be Aristotle, Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and even Anne Frank would be another good one. Years after Frames of Mind was originally published, Dr. Gardner introduced a new type of intelligence, an eighth type called naturalistic intelligence, and this is the ability to make distinctions in the world of nature. For example, someone who can tell different plants by just looking at their leaves, or birds from their bird songs. Some people with this type of intelligence would be Jacques Cousteau, John Muir, Rachel Carson, Jane Goodall. There are 8 criteria that Dr. Gardner explains on his website that must be met in order for something to be considered a type of intelligence. And there are people who criticize his theory. It was first created as posited as a psychological theory, but it has been adopted as an educational theory and has contributed significantly to our increase in differentiation in education, allowing students to demonstrate their knowledge in different ways, perhaps through visual means or writing stories, even creating a dance or a collage, just different ways to express themselves and demonstrate that they understand what they've learned. The criticisms, though, include that there's not enough empirical research that these are truly types of intelligences. And some people say that these are actually just talents, skills, and that to call them intelligences is just not accurate. Regardless of that, the the two greatest impacts in education for this theory are individuation and pluralization. And by individuation, Dr. Gardner means that we are truly able to individualize lessons with children. Because of technology, this is much easier today than it was many years ago. If students have strengths in these different areas, we can play to their strengths when presenting material. Pluralization is a way of teaching in different ways, whereas individuation is a way of expressing themselves in different ways, and pluralization is teaching in different ways with the different modalities. In my handout, I explained that some educational impacts and ideas are that Dr. Gardner and the MI theory helped educators to look beyond IQ as the only measurement of intelligence, and he helped the domain of creativity to receive more emphasis in education. He is not a fan of standardized testing. I'm not either, so I have always been a fan of Dr. Gardner's. He has obviously influenced education, as I said before, with the increased focus on different modalities. He provides schools and educators with a variety of ways to access content. He encourages educators to get to know their students' inherent strengths, and he provides students with different ways to demonstrate their understanding of material. I'm sorry I've gone a little longer than 5 minutes. It was a lot to get in here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the discussion board, and I will do my best to answer them. And I wish you all the best in this course. Bye.